Warning. The voices heard in this video are made synthetically using artificial intelligence. Nothing in this video reflects anything actually stated by the real-life individuals involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and serious political content will be avoided for that purpose. Enjoy.
Fellow FemElf fans, it's your freaky friend Fiden finally freeing you with a final flash.
Joe, you can't just change your first initial to make the opener work. As your president, I demand you do a redo.
With pleasure, Dirth Dalen Donald's Dumber Den Dick.
Secret Service, curb stomp his balls immediately.
Okay, both of you are pretty now. Calm the hell down. I do not have the patience to deal with this for another hour 20. That being said, welcome back, viewer. We are getting right into it today with the Dalish Elf quest line, hopefully less bloody this time around. We will also be taking care of the duty quest line while on the way to more quests.
Hey, bro said duty.
I hate you both.
Blog about it, Barack, but do we have any lore on the White Flint mercenaries while we are here?
That's the neat part, we don't. The only fact about them is Hawk kills all their guys in the actual sense since they go extinct after this quest.
All right, the lame factor is not going away anytime soon. Speaking of extinction, though, my urge to kill is rising. The elves have such kickable faces in this game.
First off, are you still going to sit and say the Dalish decision in Origins wasn't racially motivated? Secondly, you better leave my girls' clan alone.
Yeah, and that goes double for the Dalish Elf Warden's clan, too. I'm not headcanoning my warden as getting the human noble treatment. That being said, thankfully there's only a few quests that take Hawk here so we can control how little Donald interacts with the Dalish elves.
Guess I got lucky Donald avoided doing Merrill's quest after all.
The vegan elves will soon feel the wrath of my Skyrim racism axe, just you wait. I mean, just look at them and their weird little boba pearl eyes. I feel like they are half demons with their head shaped too.
Well, it isn't the best design, but I see their intention. They wanted to further distinguish the elves from humans, since in Origins elves were just shorter humans with pointy ears. Although Inquisition definitely had the best designed elves in terms of compromise for a different looking race, but not outright looking like demons, especially with the Vlassine design changes.
Now, Frostbite Engine is great for background designs, but character designs look weird as hell. The elves aren't bulky enough and just all look like skinny tree huggers. Origins had the best elf design easily, both with Valacine and facial structure.
Well, you're wrong, Donald, Sarah, and Solus look great, and so does Lavaline, so Frostbite Engine stays on top when it comes to good-looking elves, at least. Although not all the elves look weird, my cutie patootie Merrill looks great, and Fenris's design makes him look pretty good too.
You're objectively wrong. Merrill looks like those fish people from Baldur's Gate 3, but Fenris, on the other hand, that's a total smash.
Shut your Templar-loving sizzass up, you conservative cucumber.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Did you set the dementia in your brain to marinate today, Sleepy?
Calm down, Joe. Don't pull out the ice cream. See, look, the Keeper is letting Hawk take Merrill along for the journey ahead.
Oh, fuck yes. That's gonna be our wife.
As long as I get to smash Isabella, that's fine. Although usually when a tribe offers you a free wife, you shouldn't take it because it's obviously gonna be a trap.
Well, let's just avoid talking to Merrill about the nation's secrets or our credit card information just in case. Wait, where did Joe go?
So here's where our country's nuke button is, and my credit card is right here. The three funky numbers are my favorite ice cream order numbers at Ben & Jerry's.
For Joe, for the love of God. Get over here.
How the hell did you do that, Barry? Did you just scorpion hook me? Okay, my apologies, Barry.
Since when did the two of you start speaking Japanese?
Well, me and Joe are fully caught up on One Piece, so now we have to read the scans when they come out before they get translated with 17 grammatical errors.
Wow, very impressive, you goddamn weebs. Since you like bullshit anime power-ups so much, here's some future sight for you. I can guarantee to you, Joe, that this episode is not going to go the way you think it will, and I'm going to laugh.
Wow, sounds like a lot of heavy foreshadowing. Too bad you're going to be flat out wrong. Donald, me, and Anders are about to hit level 7, so it's about to be all Joe over now. Let's go get our waifu boys.
She has chosen a new path. Please, guide her safely from here.
Well, before you do a small little Obama obscure observation, all of the elves here are not random NPCs, but are very recognizable from the Dalish Elf origin, including Finral Varathorn and Pol the City Elf, who just joined during the 5th Blight. Well, he's the one we see wandering around, trying his best to still fit in. The girl talking to the human is also Marin, who was the Hala Keeper from Origins as well.
Who the hell is this girl? I don't remember seeing this scene before.
Oh, hell yeah, this is the quest to help the big back werewolves from getting a little sick with the curse. It's far better than the goofy revenge plot line if you kill off or cure the doggos boys.
Okay, but why is this girl going here to ask for help when the werewolves are literally the ones who killed the whole Dalish clan? Not only are these guys far away from Ferelden, but they literally killed elves. Why would the Saber clan give you guys anything?
Well, remember that some of the werewolves are former members of Zatharine's clan, since that's how we built up an army to combat the Darkspawn by infecting many of the fallen elven hunters. It's also possible the curse spread to nearby villages as well, although not confirmed, since that would make the choice genuinely evil instead of subjectively evil. This girl is hoping that the Dalish still see the werewolves are part of their people in order to help them. That, or she's trying to make the Dalish see that they are somewhat responsible for this issue and take responsibility. Either way, the main takeaway of this quest is that siding with the werewolves had really bad consequences, since the curse is spreading to a point where even the Lady of the Forest is becoming a threat, which is one of the few epilogue slides from Origins that holds true.
Hey, the werewolves were the true beef that the Blight Army needed, even if they were a little goofy in game when we used them in the Alienage. They still did what we needed them to do. I have no regrets. As for the epilogue, you don't have to remind me I read it. The werewolves lived like kings until a few humans had a skill issue, when the disease spread and the werewolves became more feral. Then when the soldiers came to drive them away, they found the camp completely empty, but true gooners like myself are still looking for the ultimate forest waifu.
Please. Help me find
Well, in honor of the forest waifu, I will help them find a cure, and apparently one of the ingredients is right across from her. So this should be easy money to find.
Oh, buddy, please try to use your pea shooters on us. The last elves said the same thing to us, and if you want to ask what happened to them, go and ask the human girl.
Hawk isn't on POTUS level yet, but I doubt he would need to be to curb stomp them back to the Dales. Thankfully, the Saber clan is friendly to everyone except our last squad mate over here. Everyone welcome the lean, mean social anxiety queen Merrill.
She looks like she's trying to get in touch with the mothership or the Blood Mage Corporation, knowing her.
Oh my God, there she is. Well, she's here. Rough, bark, bark.
I didn't hear. You must be the one you told me about.
God damn it, Joe, I thought I confiscated all your dog collars. How did you get that one past security?
I tucked away this one in Donald's McDonald's bag, since I know his self-conscious ass doesn't let the Secret Service search those.
It's been 2 weeks and you're already abusing my powers. I only made that rule because Mark sneaks a goddamn fry every time.
I hope everyone who has been edged and deprived of Merrill are fully satisfied now, because my God, the wait was worth it. She might not sing, but she definitely makes my pipe carry a tune, if you know what I mean, boys.
Dragon Age acoustics and elf gang rise up. That being said, let's cover some lore on our favorite first, and yes, I am looking Delana directly in the eye when I say that.
Sassy Barak strikes again, rest in peace, elf mommy.
Merrill was born to a different clan, the Illyrian clan, that resided in the hills of Navarra. However, since she was the third mage born in the clan, she was traded to the Saber clan during the meeting of the clans at just 4 years old. Merrill has always been a very quick study and has absorbed the lore of the ancients like a sponge, rivaling the Keeper now in knowledge, which is of course similar to Valana. So Merrill of course traveled with the Dalish Warden and Fenriel looking for Tamlin, but found no sight of him, and instead found the Alluvian. Her curiosity about elven lore has gotten the better of her, and now the mirror, being the first mystery she has yet to solve, has challenged her to completely change her outlook on what it means to be Dalish and help her people.
Also, her voice actor is different, just like Isabella, to help fit the Welsh and Irish accents that they gave the Dalish in this game. In the original, she is voiced by Erin Matthews, who voices Dr. Elizabeth on Pharaohs, but in this game, she is voiced by Eve Miles. I think we can all say which voice actor I am more favorable towards.
You know, replaying this game after Inquisition and Veilguard, they really did give a lot of signs towards what the hell Flameth really is. The fact we say an elven prayer for the dead on top of a shrine, where the ancient elves existed, all roads point towards Dragon Grandma being an elf.
It's even crazier that this isn't the only time Mythal has done this. It's her go-to whenever shit starts going down or she's about to get confronted. Also, that Ferelden isn't that brown comment is a reference to a critique about how same-looking most maps were in Origins, as well as the comment many Orlesians state that say Ferelden smells like wet dirt.
Never really got the brown thing, but Origins graphics have stopped holding up nowadays.
Hanging from the trees, top. Getting there is the tricky part. Our hunters haven't been able to reach the summit.
Well, with the lore dispensed, let's start making our way up the mountain. This might be one of the few quests that has longer cutscenes compared to gameplay.
Oh, hey, more undead boys, and here we are, still without Topsider's honor. We have an immortal elf waifu on our side, but what are the stats on these guys? Bury any Pokemon weaknesses?
Well, there's quite a few stat changes from how undead function statistically in this game. They are immune to nature damage and cold damage like in Origins, but now have electricity and spirit damage weaknesses, which once again brings value to our chain lightning stocks. Interestingly, it's like the game designers heard about my critiques as well as Max Brooks' critiques about using fire against undead and took it to heart, as fire just does neutral damage against the undead.
Well, despite shifting the type matchups more than Gen 6, the undead are still easy goddamn money. That was quick as hell. Hawk is really uninformed about Dalish culture. I could smell her as a mage the moment I met her. Massive skill issue on Hawk's part.
My girl is the strongest mage in the game, don't you dare say otherwise. Hawk just got too lost in her eyes to notice the magic aura around her, or the giant mage stick on her back for that matter.
Merrill's line about it being a keeper's job to remember and restore what we can summarize as her entire motivation. Excellent foreshadowing from Bioware here.
At least Merrill has an ounce of subtlety about her companion quest at the start, and we don't learn it all right off the bat. One of Veilguard's biggest problems is how in your face some of the companions' quest arcs were telling you everything you needed to know off the bat, not saying I'm interested in her lame-ass Morrigan Mirror recycled storyline.
Given your taste in women, I figured you would have liked sloppy seconds, Donald.
Yeah, what did you say last time you saw her on looking ass? 3 strikes, right? Let's just say this is your first one this time around. I'm giving you a chance because you helped me out last video.
Barry's doing it again.
Just ignore it, Joe, and fill the viewers in on your new build, now that we have finally reached level 7.
Right, so viewers, we have haste now, which is the strongest spell in 2 no contests since the 50% attack speed buff can be stacked. Also, for our specialization, we will be going Force Mage. I know it's not as strong as Blood Mage or Spirit Healer, but it's my personal favorite, and the debuffs the Gravity Ring gives go hard trust.
Yes.
Then finish your task quickly, human. We cannot be rid of this one.
Also, what's this guy's problem? Don't talk about my girl like that, you knife ear.
Oh, hold up, Joe. You definitely can't say that.
It's okay, I will just get the pass from Merrill, and besides, I have elf friends. Just look at Valana.
Yeah, that's not a real thing, Joe, and I'm pretty sure the Soulless Mancers in our comment section are getting ready to cancel you now.
It's fine, Joe. Don't be afraid of their inefficient grind. Besides, I'm sure the Cerberus human supremacists will be on your side and cancel it out in the comments below.
They can cancel me. I am now unburdened and immune to carrying. I got my waifu and my mage class. Speaking of from one mage to another, my love, you can share anything with me. I know this isn't Veilguard, but please fall in love with me already. I'm ready to settle down.
He only has a few weeks to live. He is trying to make the most of it, I guess. Also, second big back werewolf ingredient. I really thought this quest was going to be more involved, but this is basically how every Inquisition quest goes. I'm half expecting a war asset bar to pop up every time we pick one up.
Merrill really is the video game equivalent of failing every insight roll with a nat 1, but then every history roll is a nat 20. Granted, the joke gets old eventually, but it's still endearing.
Don't insult my girl, you muscle mommy sub-bottom.
Jesus Christ, is this how I am with Mommy Morrigan?
Yes.
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 Okay, fine, fuck you all, by the way. Also, wait a minute, this area looks familiar, Joe. I think you might need to focus up here if I'm not mistaken.
Oh
shit, the arachnophobia, Joe. Do you need me to take the wheel while you get some ice cream?
You'll never take me live. I'm faster burster and you're harder, tighter.
Phrasing, please.
If anyone was ever wondering what happens when we cut out the spider battles, it's essentially this, except sometimes it sounds like a 90-year-old drunken donkey giving birth. Joe, for the love of God, either hand Daddy Barack the controller or shoot a damn spell. Stop running away. The spiders are not going to let you retreat just because you ran far enough away. You are losing aura in front of the elf wife right now.
Merrill is immortal, she will be fine, but I am not looking directly at any of these things. Besides, I can just have Anders and myself cast haste and aura and have them auto-farm.
This would be the perfect time for a Raid Shadow Legends sponsor, if we had one, because Joe, you're not even playing the video game, now you're just watching the squad play it. The crazy thing is because of the haste buff, this is still working in your favor. It shows how absolutely broken that spell really is.
Yeah, who needs bravery when you have game knowledge, right, boys? Anyways, Barry, can you give us a lore distraction or something I could really use it to take my mind off the impending doom?
My God, Inquisition is going to be even more hilarious when the spiders are supposed to be scary, not just Biden-level scary.
Please don't start theory crafting issues before they come to light, Donald. That being said, I do have one yap off the top of my head to talk about. It's about the unique armor sets in every single act. Depending on your class, there's a definitive strongest armor for every act to collect, especially because the set bonus is beyond broken. For Mage Hawk, we have the set of the Spiral Eye, which was owned by a mage who operated in Kirkwall during the Storm Age and hunted Templars and priests. who abused mages because of their position. The mage became known as the Watcher of the Spiral Eye because of the spiral marking they would mark on their victims. The armor set gives plus 76 mana, plus 118 attack, and plus 1 magic. However, we won't get the last piece until the end of Act 1 in the Deep Roads. And so far we have the gloves from this chest and the hood from Tyrone last episode.
That's disgusting. They really made an armor about some mage serial killer who hunts the holy and righteous, and we are supposed to praise them and wear their armor? This is more propaganda by Bioware to support the mages. I will not stand for this.
Donald, this is coming from you of all people when just last episode you were hoping for a whole storyline where Cullen was a secret mage serial killer and you could side with him. But when it's Templars being hunted for being bad, suddenly it's going to far.
I'm not going to sit here and take this level of sass from someone who won't even right-click a few crawly boys. I'm based, and that means making difficult decisions sleepy.
A man can only take so much, Donald. Besides passive Dragon Age 2 run boys, this is free as hell. I can see it already.
Anyways, Joe, up ahead, we should have enemies you can actually fight. There's some undead, including our first Shadow Warrior, which even though it's a shade, it takes the form of an elf, which is the same type of magic as the ancient elven guardians during the Light of Arlathan quest and witch hunt. Although these shades primarily appear in Sundermont, likely because of all the elven history that went down before the fall of Arlathan.
Oh, right, wasn't there like a war or something bad that happened here? I remember that the arcane warriors fought here since it was relevant to the Origins lore, but that's about it.
It was mages versus mages with pointy ears, Joe. It is entirely unimportant to the lore. We need more elf nonsense, like we need a hole in the veil.
Oh, well, apparently Bioware's direction was we need both of those things, Donald. But as for the history, Joe, you and Donald basically summarized it perfectly. During Arlathan's fall, it's believed the ancient elves made their last stand here against the Tevener Imperium. The arcane warriors were the last of the elite soldiers to survive, as they were also the caretakers of the ancient ones, who were in the long sleep on in Euthenera. This combat was long and bloody, as each arcane warrior could fell dozens of Tevener soldiers, but eventually Tevener won with greater numbers, and the last of the ancient elves fell. This bloody war is what likely caused the massive amount of demons and spirits to flood into the mountain today, including the demon Merrill is talking to right now to open the door.
I can open the way forward. One moment.
Wait, babe, you don't have to do this. Let me help you. I'm a mage, Maine. I can dispel a door, no problem for you.
Burn the witch at the stake.
Wait, hold on. Did we just goddamn agree on something?
Huh, I guess we did. I still kind of hate being in this grease pool of a head, though.
Same.
All right, guys, I know this looks bad in her defense. She was just in a silly, goofy mood, plus she is autistic, so she didn't know how bad blood magic is, so she can't be held responsible.
Oh, but when my boy Elon uses the same excuse, suddenly you all won't hop off him or his feed.
Jesus Christ, Donald, we are not going to compare Merrill to whatever the hell that shit was on Monday, and we are just going to move on. Merrill here has a much different viewpoint on blood magic than Anders does, because of the teachings of the ancient elves that she discovered, and truthfully, Merrill is the best example of a good blood mage, since she doesn't do anything harmful with her magic, and even helps us repel demons in several scenarios.
I have my holy smite ready if the waifu steps out of bounds.
Also, wait, what word did you just say, my love? Oh shit, here we go, boys.
But they don't sleep peacefully.
Oh, goddammit, Joe, we can't keep recycling these jokes. Don't these scripts go through a screening process or something?
Just mute his damn mic or something. This man has become completely unhinged since leaving office. He's probably going to keep singing until we put a spider or something on his desk.
Wait, hold on, that's not a terrible idea, editor, do your thing.
Holy Maker's magnificent, Shaft, that's a big bug.
Welcome back, Joe. Now, please focus up on the fight. Vengeance is about to go down if you don't position him right.
Wait, hold on. How did that editing joke even work? Isn't that added in post or something? How did a spider jump on the screen while we are playing?
Show wow. Anyways, Barry, I know I should probably focus up on my positioning, but also this fight is perfectly showing the power of the double haste crack speed buff. So even if Anders does go down, he already did his task with haste, and half the enemies are clapped up, so this is free eats. Eveline and Isabella make a damn good team dealing with the major threats who needs Anders when the waifu squad is on the job.
This might be the first time in the series that all three waifus are equally represented on a squad of ours, and it is also not lost on me that Eveline and Isabella might become the new Liana and Morrigan stars of the squad. They have amazing synergy in the front line, the same as Morrigan and. Liana had amazing backline synergy.
All right, let's not get crazy now. It's only been like 2 missions together that sample size needs a far bigger pool. Second wave of the fight. Now, Joe, don't get complacent.
No worries, the waifus are still all here. I am big chilling right now.
Well, after this fight, there's an ingredient for the werewolf curse further up, and there's also a rune design at the very top of the mountain, so we have a few more fights to get through. With all this combat going on now, seems like the perfect time to ask if you have a comment question. Prep Joe.
I do with the game-changing haste crack buff acquired. It got me thinking about other powerful or game-breaking spells in the Dragon Age series. So viewers, what spell across the Dragon Age series do you find yourself grabbing in every playthrough? I'm talking if you had to only go into a Dragon Age game with one spell, what would it be? For me, I have to give it to Walking Bomb. It's not the outright strongest spell in the game, but it is one of the few spells to make it in all 3 games across the original trilogy, and it's an abundantly fun spell that pays homage to the Bloody Mess perk from Fallout. It took us a while to get it in our playthrough, but it's some of the most fun I've had using it in POTUS Journey, and I plan on using it later in this series as well.
Not a bad pick, Joe. Let's see if I can keep the train rolling. Like a walking bomb, a good explosion is a massive gamer move and a feeling unlike any other. All that being said, imagine an explosion but rained down from the sky, and you've got an energy barrage from Inquisition. This range is absolutely insane, and you can combo several buffs beforehand to auto-drone any enemy encamped in the open world or hell, even in close quarters. It's absolutely beautiful, and that's not because of any real-world military invention equivalent. Okay, I just like how it looks, and I can't wait to bring my man Dorian with us to smite some dragons with it.
Viewers, in case you were wondering, Barack just salivated all over the Oval Office. However, besides that, I love the based Inquisition pick, my boy. As for me, I think it goes without saying that Holy Smite in 2 and Origins is the best damn spell across the series, and it's a massive fumble that Inquisition removed the ability in favor of a weaker ability that only affects demons, not spellcasters. No other ability besides Mana Clash can affect the robes, as specifically as Holy Smite, and sticking it on a warrior who can follow up with a massive combo is goddamn glorious. If they allowed me to pump more spell slots into it like in Baldur's Gate or D&D, this shit would be orgasmic. But because it's a ranged smite, I think it's just as perfect.
This was probably one of the least surprising answers we have all given boys, but viewers, let us know what your ride or die favorite spell, as I imagine a lot of you are going to pick haste in either 2 or Origins, which is completely valid, but I'm curious what some of you pick. Our editor will read everyone, and his favorite will be featured next episode. This is normally where we would do the super thanks and featured comment from last episode, but given Mythal is about to appear back on screen, we are going to hold that for another fight scene.
For smart move, Joe, we have a lot of lore to get through. Speaking of, does this line from Merrill sound familiar to you?
Oh shit, that's the first line of Liliana's camp song, so in Euthanera is just the default hymn for all elf stuff. Even funeral rites, that does make sense, though Liana says her song is supposed to bring hope to the grieving.
Humna, 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 humna. Oh, my God, if I knew Grandmommy Mythal was in that crystal, I would have charged it a few more times for her, if you know what I mean.
Unfortunately, that was so much not on the nose that everyone did know what you mean, you goddamn gooner. Anyways, boys, Flemeth's dialogue here is not only some of the most lore-heavy in the series, but it varies heavily depending on what squad mates you bring. Although she primarily focuses on Fenris, Isabella, and Anders, although she will only acknowledge Anders if you don't bring Fenris. She essentially soul reads all of them and sizes them up perfectly. This implies she might have some sort of Star Trek empath readings going on.
So massive spoiler warning here for Veilguard, but I have a feeling it is because Mythal is a spirit. She can probably read people in a similar sense to how Cold does in Inquisition, although way stronger since Mythal is way stronger on the spirit hierarchy.
It could also be magic. I'm not sure if the spirit thing was fully decided yet, although I guess Mythal is technically a spirit anyway, so you might be right. Also, we have a cat fight between Isabella and Flemeth. This is hot as hell.
It's probably obvious who Flemeth is referring to when talking to Isabella. They both grew up with very distant mothers and were taught that life is all about survival from the start. They also have a very casual slew of friendships and relationships too, although they were not written by the same person. I would say her name, but I don't want to trigger someone.
Hey Flemeth, we only kept our word so we could recruit the hot elf girl, and because the game would never let us progress without doing this, which is often called a railroad in some circles, but glaze us up if you want, we will still take it.
Oh my God, Morrigan. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Between Mythal's assets in front of me and that name in my head, I'm about to have a stimulation overload right now, boys.
If you're about to erupt like a pyro, please go to another room and do that. We don't need the microphone picking up this kind of nonsense. Also, to add on to Flemeth being clairvoyant through spirit powers here, she is clearly able to tell exactly what Anders is. Hell, she probably sees Vengeance's aura all around him.
You know, I just realized Mythal and Anders are basically the same thing in a way. Both of them were once mortal mages that fused with a spirit to further their own goals, and ended up becoming something completely new from the two original beings.
This is the Dragon Age game you've supposedly played the most, and you're just now realizing that's sleepy?
Hop off I don't often play with all this narrative analyzing going on around me. I usually just spam chain lightning and walking bomb while turning my brain off to Liana's songs and looking at Merrill.
It's understandable this is the only scene they are ever seen together in, but yes, Flemeth and Anders have more or less the exact situation going on, where the binding of mortal and spirit created something new. The two key differences are Flemeth likely had much more selfish intentions than Anders did, and obviously Flemeth is way more goddamn powerful.
You know, with all this Morrigan praise and foreshadowing from Mommy Mythal, I'm amazed Morrigan just didn't make a whole appearance in the second game. I mean, this is literally the only Dragon Age she doesn't appear in.
I mean, to be fair, her and POTUS are having their honeymoon right now. By this point, plus they do have a kid they should be raising.
I wonder if POTUS pays child support to Gorm, the kid you two Gooners made with Marty in episode 1.
Holy shit, I forgot about that kid. I mean, bro's probably the heir to House Edgecon too, so he's doing fine. Plus, I imagine POTUS gave them a nest egg before retiring.
On to your second point, though, Donald, I remember the online forums were ablaze back in 2011 about why Morrigan didn't appear in 2, especially since Alistair and Liliana both had minor cameos. There may have been some plans to include her in the plot of Exalted March, this game's cut version of Awakening, but Gator never fully confirmed it. Laidlaw did address in an interview post-Dragon Age 2 release, however, that Morrigan's story was far from done, so I imagine the plan was always to include her in Inquisition, following an extensive time skip.
So I never really got Flameless Warning here, other than it's another obvious Morrigan reference. Is she talking about the Circle Revolution, Corypheus getting out, or Solas waking up and tearing the veil?
I mean, when you put it that way, all three of those are fucking terrible. However, I would side more with the oppressed elves and robes revolting rather than some old dude cosplaying as a god with a respawn hack. Also, because it's Joe playing, I can almost understand her underestimating us, but even if we aren't as based as POTUS, we are still the goddamn protagonist and can kick ass with the best of them.
Hawk can throw down as well as the other heroes. It is more so he isn't as politically powerful or relevant as the Inquisitor or hero of Ferelden. Also, this scene is always really sad, and we don't even know narratively how important Merithari is to Merrill yet. It's like they perfectly captured that moment of sending your oldest child off to college.
Given what we learn about the Keeper and First relationships from B'Elanna, while the Keeper is like a parent to the entire clan, the First comes under their private tutelage from a young age, and is the closest thing to a parent they likely ever know. To make things worse, it's likely Merrill made a deal with a Pride demon right in front of Merithari, since a short story reveals that they found the demon sealed in Sundermont together, where the Keeper tells Merrill to destroy the demon. But as we learn in Act 3, that demon is very much still alive.
Damn, that level of disappointment is like shooting up right in front of your parents. Speaking of shooting up, looks like we have wandered into Joe's neighborhood of Wilmington, Delaware.
Wait, Joe, I thought Hunter sold that place to pay for legal fees?
Well, he did, but it turns out a Facebook Marketplace sale isn't legally binding when you don't own the house. Some Pokemon card scalper was living there, but after evicting over 40 body pillows, we are so barack. Which is good, because I don't think I was going to be able to convince Jill to live in Ireland.
Oh shit, well, when are we going back? I have to check on how Barack Obama Plaza is doing.
You have a plaza in Ireland named after you?
You look it up, there's nothing as Irish as Barack Obama.
Damn boys, we are so in, we're already invited to her place. Here's a pro-Joe Biden dating tip: buy her a place, that way you always have a key for nighttime visits.
I mean, that's what I always do, actual solid advice from Joe over here. Aren't we supposed to be saving up our coins, though, for this expedition? How did we get her a whole house that is slightly nicer than our own house at Gamlen's?
It's a house in the Alienage, so only elves can even live there, I imagine. That knocks the price down a lot. And it's already a house in an area labeled as the Poor District. While it's possible there was just an open house available, I like to think Varric pulled some strings with the coterie to get her a house here. If he has private hangman room money, he likely has elven alienage money.
Varric and Isabella start up the trend of Dragon Age mom and dad squad mates to Merrill, something Varric picks back up with Solas when it comes to Cole and Inquisition. Unlike Cole, though, I'm about to become Merrill's daddy.
Joe, please, for the love of God, we can only take so much cringe per episode. I mean, hell, Merrill wasn't even sure what you were trying to do there. That's how negative your Riz is.
Hey, if I can pull Liliana in Origins, I can bag the cute nerd, especially once I love bomb her with Mage content she approves of.
Oh fuck, pro mage quests, that's the shit I like. Why couldn't I be in his head instead of Renegade McDonald's Knight Commander-in-Chief over here?
It was booked to capacity, and consider that shit strike two, you robe-loving ghost.
Well, while Donald has his moment. Merrill, I just want to reassure you that compared to Zathrain, you would have made a very good keeper. It's not really on you that you didn't make many friends in the Dalish, considering what we see from Valana being secluded is just the norm when you have to spend most of your time learning elven lore and magic. It's like raising a son super strict, so he focuses only on becoming a doctor, making no friends and partners, then getting mad when he's 30, and he can't pull someone to give you grandkids.
Hey, I don't care how socially awkward she is. She can pull hawk, so that's all that matters. Anyway, don't I have to go all the way back to Sundermount to turn in the werewolf quest?
Looks like we have a small ambush to trigger another main quest too, so let's pick that up while we're at it. This will start Black Powder Promise, and just like recruiting Anders unlocks enemies among us and recruiting Isabella, we have to finish Long Way Home and recruit Merrill to unlock this encounter. Also sorry in advance for this, Joe.
Fuck. Spy Sputter says, huh?
This is goddamn hilarious. Joe's favorite game in the series has spiders every other encounter.
We can't even skip this one too. We have to complete it for the main quest. Well, while Joe stays in the background for his exposure therapy, Donald mind featuring our favorite comment from last episode.
Sure thing, Barack. Our featured comment comes from Linkster362, who says their favorite companion is our big girl Shale from Origins. They say that they love the switch up of expectations, since we think we are getting an obedient, mindless killing machine, but instead we got a sassy, thick girl with base takes. They also love the lore enrichment Shale offers the Orzammar questline, which is based because that was easily the peak of our run until we reached the Landsmeet section. Thank you for your comment, and can't wait to hear what your favorite spell is in the Dragon Age series.
We also have 2 super chats from the last episode. We have 5 European monies from Anti-Juat Tasniemi. So we greatly thank you for your support. It means a crazy amount towards the growth and frequent uploads to this channel. We also have $10 from Nightbringer 325, who made a request to romance solas for the story in Inquisition. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the support, and this super helped us come up with a new idea we have towards how your super thanks can give you a voice in the channel's future. Donald is the businessman you want to go over this one.
Sure thing. I love that money grind, and I especially love having people invest their money into something worthwhile, in this case, waifus. So viewers, this $10 is now going to be the first official super, thanks to influence our romance decision in Inquisition. Since Barack wasn't savvy enough to lock in Cassandra in the deal for Inquisition, our romance is up in the air. So our editor has made a Google sheet with every romance option besides Cullen for obvious out-of-game reasons, and your super thanks can become a drive for your chosen waifu. The romance option that gets the most donations will be our winner, which means those super thankers also get to choose our gender in some cases. You guys have until the release of the first Inquisition episode to determine the romance, and every donation will be put into a public Google sheet that you can view in Fox Discord. So make sure to add what romance you want in the super thanks or super chat in question, and if you forget, our editor will just ask you in the comments if you want that super to go towards a romance option. If you want to be Switzerland about it, that's fine too. Our editor might find other rewards for channel backers in the future, but we love having you guys have a voice in our series, and this is just one more way to do that.
Well, back to the game, we'll take on the Qunari camp, but only for the viewers, and so we can each do one Qunari quest in our next episode.
Sounds good. If you take care of that quest, then I can do the Shepherding Wolves quest next time, and then Donald can take care of the Sheamus quest. We are doing a dead, even split on main quests at this rate, boys.
Thanks for volunteering me, Barack, but that quest is just killing a bunch of dudes anyway. Now that we are helping the C-tier businessmen, let's go back to helping the big backs that won the 5th flight.
Oh, come on. Man, at this point, just send me an oiled up for the necromorphs. I apologize for my hurtful and possible anti-short people rants that I said under duress.
Joe, our editor, cut ahead. We can only have you break the mic quality so many times this episode.
Oh, thank God.
I'm amazed to say, Joe even taught me a few new words there. You learn something new every day. Anyway, here's a Templar that belongs back in Ferelden. and not in the based order of Kirkwall Thrask. This dude might as well give the robes free housing outside the circle the way he lets them escape and feels sorry for them.
Thrask definitely does not belong in the Templar Order, despite being given to the Chantry at the age of 4, but we can cover that more in a minute. For now, we should talk about Finriel and the Dalish. I can see this is what you mean by continuing the elf content. Joe, nice work, sticking to a theme.
I mean, Donald stuck to the recruitment theme and you started with the prologue theme, so it only makes sense I keep the ball rolling. Besides, this quest only opens up after doing Merrill's quest, so it's the perfect opportunity.
Wait, so are you supposed to recruit Anders and Merrill first? It seems like no other quest is available until you do at least one of those two?
Yeah, basically, since the only thing you can do before recruiting one of them is side quests, and even those are limited until you progress the main quest. Back to Finriel, though, this quest is probably the worst public relations interaction for the Dalish in the entire series. Mariana's clan forced her to choose between giving her own son away or leaving the clan forever, since her son is only a half-elf. Obviously, she chose her son, but at the cost of having to leave the only family she ever knew for a life in the Alienage.
Between this and the Dalish hunting mages, when there's a surplus in the camp, the only Dalish clan that isn't terrible is Merrill's and maybe Llewellyn. Hell, even Zathrain's clan kind of sucked, since their leader was a immortal blood mage who would rather hate the ancestors of his enemies than protect his clan.
Common Elf L. This is why I stayed with the based werewolves. They target all enemies equally and are easily won over with nug nuggets. Reject racism, embrace dogs.
Raising for the love of God. Donald, I don't like the implications of that sentence. I ask you to kindly go over it a few times in your head. Not every elf clan is terrible, though Ariana's clan seemed nice, and the part of Valana's clan that didn't leave with her seemed nice too, and admonished Valana for her view on humans. I think the Dalish have a 50-50 chance of being a welcoming family, with the Saber clan being the pinnacle of altruism among the Dalish. Also, one of the biggest oddities about this quest is how much it brushes to the side Finriel being a dreamer. The dialogue is only brought up in passing with his mother, and we aren't even able to ask him about the nightmares himself if we bring Aveline along when we meet him, because of a certain chain of dialogues. This is a problem because him being a dreamer or having nightmares should be a major deciding factor if he should go to the circle or not, because Finriel is anything but a normal kid who has magic.
That's a good goddamn point. Baroque Templar decisions deserve that consideration. But unfortunately, we have Paragon Bleeding Heart Sleepy here, so any Templar decision goes out the goddamn window.
I'm fiending for that Merrill approval. I want that peak romance as early as possible, but anyway, let's go confront a deadbeat dad, and to help me do so, I brought in a local expert on the topic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Maury Povich.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my special guest, Joe Biden.
Maury already introduced you to the audience. You didn't have to introduce me.
I know, but you don't have the sweet TV announcer voice, so stick to being a nap and spell expert, Joey, and leave the announcing to the professionals.
Damn welcome in, Maury. If I knew you were coming to my house, I would have laid out some proper snacks.
No worries, Donnie. Polishing my special M entrance to the White House was all the welcoming I need. We can do some rounds on the field after you guys find 2 dragons or whatever this game is about.
And hey, Maury, after the game, I wanted to show you my latest Warhammer model, if you're interested.
I'll let you know if I have the time, former President Obama.
God damn it, well, at least we can show the unique mage interaction to get the dad to spill where his son is. We only get this if we are a mage, or we bring Bethany here to show the dad his son's situation isn't too different from ours.
Which brings us to why you're here, Maury. This guy abandoned his son after he got the kid's mom pregnant because of his race and all, while he had a wife at home. Now he's denying the kid and only helped him out of guilt.
Oh, Joe, this is a treat. I know just how to handle this guy, trust me, because viewers, let me assure you, I have the DNA results right here. In the case of 16-year-old Finriel, Vincento, you are the father.
Damn, that shit never gets old. You even convinced him to give up the local drug addict at nighttime.
I mean, it was literally the Mage interrupt that let us get the information, but you know what good shit, Maury. If you fail talking to Vincento by not using the interrupt immediately, you just have to go to Thrask, and he will eventually give in and tell you what he knows, which also leads to Samson.
Common Thrask L, but let's go get some base Templar juice. I'm running low on my supply anyway.
Wait, so that's what you keep pouring over your McNuggets? I thought that shit was syrup. That explains the Fade dreams.
Oh shit, so this dude is a plug and a drug addict. This is more of Jerry's department, honestly, boys. Let me go get a Ouija board and hit him up.
Damn, too soon, rest in peace, Jerry. It's crazy, though, how this random former Templar who appears in 2 quests can become the second to Corypheus in Inquisition. It's crazy what the random 7-Eleven tweaker can do when he finds the right high.
This dude is all red lyrium armor and no substance. Isn't he another weak-ass Ferelden Templar that was fired for feeling bad for the robes? Bro should stay in the blooming rose-cuck chair with Thrask. It's where he belongs.
Right again, Donald Sampson is a more lenient Templar who soared through the ranks of the Templar Order under the previous Knight Commander. But once Meredith took control, she had a tighter leash on her Templars and found out he was passing letters to other mages. He was quickly fired for this, and now struggling with lyrium withdrawal, he spends every ounce of money he gets on his fix, which is why he is only helping mages who can give him money. He also has a small arc in this game where he completely shifts his perspective on mages in essentially the opposite direction as to how Cullen views mages, but we can get to that later.
Something sounds really bad about him only helping young kids, but then also sending them to a pirate captain in the same breath. I can't be the only one who thinks that this is a little sketchy.
Yeah, especially in a town where every other person is either a Carta member or a slave or Poe. This guy is just an addict. He doesn't really care about the people he's helping. Speaking of helping, though, here's our old boss, asking for help not 1 week after we quit.
Bro is the definition of a manager who panicked and fired an employee only to realize that guy was the only one doing actual work for the company. That being said, this dude is a real asshole for someone trying to convince us to do work.
This dude is the definition of lower management. He even has the balding head of hair like you do, Donnie.
Yo, Poe, what the fuck did I do?
This quest is the only consequence of siding with the mercenaries. If we sided with the smugglers, we get a quest to recover some goods from the coterie and learn that the smuggler started using child labor to transport her goods in the city. We can either let the children have the goods or take them back. As it is, we just have to kill another noble that the other nobles don't like, which is, again, just playing more into the Orlesian game politics of Kirkwall.
You want to handle this quest, Barry, you're the one who picked the mercenaries anyway, so it's only fair.
Yeah, that's fine. My next episode is going to handle a lot of the side content like Aveline and the Bone Pit anyway. Someone asked why our episodes are longer all of a sudden, and the main reason is just so we can progress the story to a decent place every episode, since every quest in Dragon Age 2, with only a few exceptions, is much shorter than Origins, which would normally take 2 episodes to finish the main quest proper.
Also looks like you found the last nighttime ambush group sleepy, so you lucked out on an enemy type you can fight again.
Redwater Raiders, are these like communist pirates or something, boys? Because that's some hardcore alliteration on the branding.
No, Poe, they are just called Redwater Raiders because their leader is a blood mage who captures people and other sailors to fuel his power more. I mean, with a name like Leech, I guess it was bound to happen. These guys have a Pokemon weakness to lightning, though, like half of the enemies in this game. So this is easy goddamn money.
Oh, damn good shit. Dispensing Lord Joe didn't know you had it like that. And this will also be the last time we show any ambushes until we fight the gang bosses at the end of each act. Just because the game pads down content doesn't mean that we have to.
Well, I'll give these gang attacks one thing they are good for: venting out frustration, since they are so goddamn easy to kill. It's like some reverse GTA scene going on with how easy it is to kill these guys.
Oh, you like venting frustration, Maury? Well, I was looking into rage rooms in DC. Wanted to know if you wanted to check one out with me.
That's what golf is for Barack Obama. Besides, I don't want to wear those goofy white overalls.
Oh, okay, well, I also was looking into renting out a bowling alley next week and have some professional catering. Would you like a invite? It should be fun and low-key.
Yeah, okay, I will think about it, but I think my cat left my oven on, so I should go check on that. It's been fun, you all. Good luck finding out the age of the dragon a second time.
Barack, why the hell did you do that? You scared him off? Are you trying to date Maury or something? Because if you want to do that, can you not scare away my friend when you do it?
Well, you all said to get some interest to make Maury like me, so I looked up some fun things to do so we can have a thing like Joe's Book Club or Donald's golf outings. I'm goddamn trying here. I just want to be chill and not be called former President Barack Obama.
Barack, I can't believe I have to tell a grown-ass man this, but you're coming on way too strong, and it's obvious you just pulled advice from Reddit or something. Just find something not Dragon Age related that you're genuinely interested in, and bring it up with Maury. If you sell the pitch, he will want to try it himself, and there you go. But for the love of God, get an interest for yourself first.
All right, fine. I guess I can be flexible and try a few things. Thank you, Donald. Sorry I came off desperate there.
All good, Barry. It's not like we don't get desperate the second a elf mage or a swamp witch appear on screen. We all have chinks in our armor.
You know, I'm always really confused with how quickly mages can turn into abominations. I mean, go back in time at the scene after she called for help was less than 10 seconds, and she's a full-fledged abomination. Even the process with Yildred in the Circle Tower was longer.
I guess demons just have a 10 gigabyte connection to distressed mages in Kirkwall. The Forbidden Ones are working overtime to get as many mages hooked as possible. Anyway, while we fight another brain-dead, easy abomination, why don't we talk the tea about Thrask?
For good bars, and sure thing, Joe. Well, as we mentioned last episode, Thrask, like many Templars, frequent the working girls at the Blooming Rose. What we didn't mention is that he actually frequents one working girl exclusively, and just like in Fable Bro, never opted to use protection. He had a child with her who he named Olivia. She showed signs of magic at a young age, and Thrask, knowing how bad the Circle under Meredith is, firsthand spent great expense and risk to keep her hidden from the Templars. Eventually, as Olivia grew up, she realized how much Thrask was risking to protect her and tried to go her own way. Unfortunately, since she didn't have money to get the quality help of Samson, this is how it turned out.
Another day, another emotional fallacy by Bioware to side with the poor oppressed mages. Thrask could have just sent her to a different circle, and if he did, she wouldn't have been auto-possessed as quickly, and his daughter would still be alive. Her death is partially on him.
Yeah, but if he sent her away, Thrask and her mother would have never seen her again. At least she got to know her mom and her father, and that they loved her. That's something most mages don't get.
I would rather they be alive and not summon foreign demons out of the ass to take away jobs and lives from the hard-working people on the other side of the veil. If Hawk wasn't here to stop her, these demons could have broken out and caused another mini Redcliffe. I mean, the undead are already here for further proof.
This wasn't all Thrask's fault, though. Olivia made a decision on her own, and I believe she was old enough to think for herself. It's hard to look at every mage dead in the eye and say you don't deserve to make any choices for yourself as an adult, because a demon might possess you at some point.
Sounds like you just don't have enough renegade points to make the hard decision, Barak.
Well, as far as this discussion is concerned, the decision comes down to if we want to blackmail Thrask about protecting his mage daughter or not. Literally every squad mate in the game, besides Fenris, disapproves of this decision, and it's one of the few very evil choices in this game.
Fenris is so based, holy shit, I didn't think he would be one of the few companions trying to secure a bag.
It's not even much of a bag, Donald, it's like 2 gold. It's honestly weird Fenris approves of this decision. It's not like he is a greedy person. So the only reason I can think of is he just wants to punish someone who supported a mage being free. Viewers, let us know if you have a roleplay reason for blackmailing Thrask in the comments, though.
While Thrask doesn't deserve the Fenris smoke, I can think of a few people who do, so let's go destroy our third slaver operation in Kirkwall, shall we, boys?
Also, this shitlord mage really walked up to us and said, yeah, we can enslave these guys easily. Fenris, kindly show this man what happens to robes who don't know their place.
How that McDonald's sprite at 2 a.m. be hitting.
Andraste's great flaming ass. How did you do that?
See, I appreciate you cooperating with me, and if you hadn't tried to enslave me or my girl Merrill 10 seconds ago, I would have let you pass with a warning. But as it stands, I'm about to show you all what happens when you mess with a mage who can fight back.
If you're playing Renegade Hawk, you get a top-tier edgy scene where they stab the shit out of this robe before starting the fight. As it is, though, I guess he bled out internally from whatever Fenris did to him.
Yeah, I think Fenris either took out one of his lungs or messed with his aorta given where he reached in. Bro definitely is bleeding internally, and that's in a world without a good understanding of anatomy. Anyways, we didn't go over the weakness of the slavers, so we might as well now. Slavers are weak to fire and resist cold because Tevinter is more mountainous and colder, as well as they have heavier armor, which protects against cold. Finney is perfect for dealing with them, as they are one of the 2 enemies weak to fire damage.
Well, our overpowered DLC staff works just fine here too, so this will be easy goddamn money, especially because we started getting some of our specialization abilities. On Varric and Fenris.
I'm still jealous of Varric's and Sebastian's specializations for rogue archers in this game. It's more useful to get them than the actual archery talents.
Oh God, here comes another mage who's gonna try to use the 24-hour barrier to goon off while we kill all his dudes. This type of shit makes me want to mod in Holy Smite as a spell as quickly as goddamn possible.
That would mean wanting to give base Templar spells to mages, though, Donald. Isn't that heresy or something?
It's called a Holy Sorcerer, Joe. Look it up, you goddamn casual.
Well, looks like we don't have to add more mods just yet, because that mage got tossed around like a salad and didn't even get a chance to try and fight back. Let's go head to the beach to finish 2 main quests, boys.
You're not like a lot of other...
Goddamn it, Carver, stop trying to put the moves on all the waifus. You are literally not him at all. Stay in your lane before I accidentally send you into deep roads without Anders.
Now, let's not just talk about it. Let's make it happen, Sleepy. This prick has had it coming.
For threatening to kill your brother with blight. Just because they flirted with your girl is actually crazy work. Besides, this is more so just wholesome flirting as opposed to Isabella, who might follow through with it knowing her.
Yeah, but banging Isabella is just a rite of passage in life, let's be real.
Don't insult my pirate queen like that, Joe. I get enough of it from Barack and his sassy man era. Just dispense some lore on the beach map while we kill the last shitty mercenary company.
Well, there's not really much lore on the area itself. It's simply the coastline of the Free Marches, and it was named as such as a reference to the Sword Coast from the Baldur's Gate and D&D franchise. Merrill makes a reference to this as well, talking about how was the wound on the coast made by a sword. The Wounded Coast has a surprising amount of cameos from Origins, as well likely because they are right across the sea from Ferelden. If we sided with the Dalish either curing or killing Witherfang, the daughter of Athras, and Daniela, we'll be looking for revenge on the werewolves who infected her mother. It can either be a werewolf turned human or a random human not knowing what's going on if the curse wasn't lifted. The ghoul Sophia Dryden can also appear here from Warden's Keep if we sided with her, and we will have to kill her and some enthralled bandits and blood mages. She apparently infests the entire coast with her small army. Finally, Avernus also has a side quest here if we let him live. He begins coordinating with the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden and will have a shipment in the Wounded Coast that will be intercepted by bandits. We can recover it and drink Avernus's draft that gives +2 skill points, as well as 2 gold and a letter thanking us from the Wardens in the Free Marches.
So we had 3 options to make the Wounded Coast more interesting, and you and Donald basically killed all of them?
Hey, POTUS's journey was long, bloody, and based. Nothing we can do about that.
So I switched out our fire staff for Malcolm's Honor, which does spirit damage, which at least deals normal damage. I still hate that I'm the one who has to fight the Qunari first, when Barack just had to fight Darkspawn mainly.
You know, you have a point. Barack here is always doing the first episode and leaving the first difficult battles to me and you.
First of all, we all agreed on the turn order, and secondly, I still had to go through the prologue with no DLC items and base gear.
Yeah, but with my build suggestions, Barry, the point is you are definitely on fraud watch, just like this slaver mage is about to be. So you better step up your game next episode with some challenging fights. Because my God, between the demon-haunted house and the Qunari beefcakes, me and Donald's backs are really heavy right now.
Just one more enemy to go. Joe, let's see your moves here.
If you are a rogue hawk, you get a special kill animation where you can snipe the slaver leader with a single murder knife. It's one of the most anime scenes in the game.
Varric used talk no jutsu on him.
If I were you, I wouldn't be threatening the Viscount's son.
What? Oh, I suppose you just got a tip from a slaver that he was selling mage flesh cheap.
Varric really is the dictionary definition of a natural 20 on the persuasion check, and this is just a common occurrence with him in the party. You can auto-skip several encounters with Varric just by bringing him along, which is just one of the reasons he is a fan-favorite companion.
I respect grabbing the extra 2 gold, but are we really going to just let slavers walk free? These guys are just going to do this again. Although I respect their grind taking it out on mages, though these guys have good ideas on proper targets.
Well, unlike the last slavers, these guys actually tried to talk us down, plus they paid us to let us go, and most importantly, Varric worked hard on the bullshit story, so I figured I'd let them off with a warning.
Who are you?
By the way, fat ass, I looked over your business plan for the Robe Emporium, and in addition to being absolutely disgusting and more brain-dead than Fenris, I also saw 33 accounting errors in cost and ROI. This shit is more sideways than your McDonald's NFTs.
Did you just give me financial advice on my Mage roundup plan? Isn't that like what you're fighting against or something?
Look, it gets boring watching your ass sign executive orders all day without even reading them. And going to McDonald's golf trip combos and... wait a minute, why did I do that?
Fenriel's a nice kid, and this choice seems difficult at first, but can we talk about how this decision really doesn't matter? Sending him to the Dalish or the Circle isn't a permanent solution to his nightmare problem, and the real decision doesn't come until Act 2.
Wait, hold on, Sleepy. If it doesn't matter what option you pick, why not just send him to the Circle for that sweet Templar karma? Would it kill you to at least attempt to expand your morality and gameplay decisions?
Donald, you're just saying that because the side quest in Act 2 for sending Fenriel to the Circle is hunting some elven blood mages, and that's like a 2-for-1 special to you. Besides, I'm fiending for that Merrill approval, and this gives +15 approval if we send him to the Dalish.
Total lies. I'm just trying to get you to expand your morality palette, Sleepy. I have no ulterior motives or disparaging views on the elves.
Yeah, I can smell your bullshit and taste your lies. Orange man, it flows through your sweat pores and sinks in your bones more than sweet and sour. If you don't let half-elf Elvis here and those fine blood elf mages go on an all-expense-paid trip to Tevinter, I swear to God you're going to have your golf hand broken this time. I don't care how many strikes you can give me, you can't escape justice.
All right, strike 3, say hi to Solace for me, asshole.
What the fuck is a Solace? Wait, what is that thing? Is that a Call of Duty ray gun?
She does not hate humans.
Donald, did you just summon your persona or something? Why did you shoot yourself in the head with a ray gun?
What the fuck is this thing? It's cold and dark like a hagraven's tit. Get me out of here.
What the hell is that, Justice?
Don't worry about what it is. It's going into the Trump briefcase with Solace and all the other dumb ideas spawned out of this playthrough. You two both love mages and the Fade, so enjoy the Goon Cave together.
Oh, so that's who you were talking to every episode. I was here thinking the presidency had already gotten the best of you, Donald, or you found another synthetic Grey Warden joining. I'm kind of glad it was spirit nonsense.
Hey, Donald, do you think I could borrow that ray gun?
First of all, it's Elon's, so you can get your own, and secondly, even if I did let you have a go at it, this could never fully repair the chaotic corn husk of your mind.
Well, with Donald's brain repaired and Finreal off to the Dalish that we just met yesterday, let's go to the real skill test of the episode, the Tal Vashoth.
Well, before that, we have to talk to the Qunari who betrayed the betrayers, who left the Qunari, and is also the voice of every dark elf in Skyrim.
Joe, how is that what you recognize him from? That is literally Joshua Graham.
It is? If he's not reciting Bible verses, I literally can't recognize him as Joshua.
His voice actor is Keith Sarabajika, who also voices Bartrand in this game, and Bioware fans will also recognize him as Harbinger from the Mass Effect series.
Oh shit, that's not good, bro. Is about to assume direct control of the Oxmen and give them fire-bending biotics.
This guy really voiced Joshua and Harbinger, two of the most quotable video game characters in 2010's gaming, that easily puts him on Steve Blum levels of goated. They should have gotten this guy to voice Corypheus.
I do not want Corypheus to start quoting the Mormon Bible, and if they did get him to voice Corey, you know Bioware would have put in an assuming direct control joke in Inquisition.
Still would be better than half of the jokes in later Bioware titles, Barack also. If you two weren't so hard for making our hawk a purple hawk, we could have convinced this guy to fight for us with a renegade dialogue check.
My sword means nothing. I will sell it and myself as mercenary. Qunari would say I am worse.
This guy is an interesting look at the Qunari doctrine. He left his people with the other Tal Vash, likely unsatisfied from simply waiting in Kirkwall to find the tomb of Khoslan. But when the Qunari resorted to banditry, as all they knew was fighting, he wasn't satisfied with that either, and became a mercenary, which he describes as being worse than the Tal Vash bandits.
In what world is making a bag as a mercenary being worse than being a literal cave-dwelling bandit attacking and looting caravans?
Well, that's because Qunari society focuses very strongly on the good of all, not the personal gain of one. At least these Tal Vash stick together and have a ranking officer to lead them still. This guy is going off on his own, weakening the Tal Vash and now only benefiting himself by working for coin. It's less about what they are doing and the reason they are doing it, since, as we learned from Sten Humanity's morality, isn't really applicable to the Qunari's viewpoint.
Well, we are about to show them what the good of the whole gets them when they start cosplaying as Fallout Raiders. That all being said, the world development for the Qunari in 2 is insane. We get way more out of them in this game than we do in any other entry in the series, but despite all that, we don't get a Qunari companion in 2, besides Felicia Day, of course. Also, by the way, I called dibs on Mark of the Assassin.
Joe, you can't just call dibs on the DLC. We aren't even a third of the way through the series yet.
It doesn't matter, the entire DLC is about a cute red-headed elf waifu. If you don't let me play this, all my fans are going to riot berry. Besides, it has Felicia Day in it, and I love Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. More than life itself, either you let me play it or I'm boycotting the rest of the series.
Jesus Christ, I have never seen someone more locked into playing a Dragon Age 2 DLC in all my years. You are literally fiending over the most mid-DLC that has ever graced the EA Store's Sleepy.
Well, I hope you feel differently about Legacy, because you're going to play that one yourself, Donald.
Wait, what the hell, why?
Because you haven't played any of the DLCs, and this DLC is not only one of the best in the series, but it also sets up Inquisition, which is your favorite game in the series, so it just makes sense.
Doesn't that kind of screw you over, Barack? Not only do you not get to play a DLC in 2 if that's the case, but you miss out on playing your favorite in the series, if I remember correctly.
It does, but that's fine if it means you can experience a goated DLC for the first time, and maybe it will help you form a new opinion on Dragon Age 2.
It won't, but fine. Since you are glazing up the DLCs so much, I will give them a try.
Well, since we already have seen me handle the regular guys, now let's cut ahead to the final battle, boys.
Well, we got our first raw lyrium deposit, which we need to start crafting runes, and between the main quests we have done, we not only have enough to fund the expedition, but we can now start crafting up some runes for some solid builds for the fight ahead. In some cases, like Joe said, we may have to swap our spells out, but in most cases, just swapping weapon and rune element damage for the right type matchups is enough to secure the win.
Bro here thinking we are Ben Hasrath or demons trying to kill him? Who the hell are Bro's ops?
Dudes are talking on social media like they have enemies this big because their homeroom teacher took their vape one time in the school bathroom. Time to put down the Qunari who chose banditry over military imperialism as any cultured champion should. It's crazy how we already have enough gold for the expedition and we are only halfway through the main quests at the moment. Maybe we optimized too hard, but that seems out of whack when it's the primary goal of Act 1.
Well, the main quests give a grand total of 52 gold, assuming you never spend any gold on yourself, and doing side quests like the Amel will are also insanely profitable for extra income. The fact we did Isabella, Fenris, and the Amel will plus the gold from the prologue and DLC means we are richer than expected. This does, of course, get into how many of these main quests we actually should have to do, since the only real plot we have at the moment is fund the expedition, which we can talk about now, since after this quest we only have 2 more main quests to go in Act 1.
Bro, the Qunari Mage spawned out of thin air and just juked the shit out of you sleepy.
This must be how Nightcrawler is going to feel playing against in Marvel Rivals. Also, why the hell was Merrill upstairs? I thought I made sure everyone should be grouped together.
You actually never controlled Merrill during the starting section, and I think her tactics are set to aggressive by default. Anyway, as I was saying, let's go over the main quests we have done so far. Tranquility outright makes the most sense to be a main quest. We need the Deep Roads maps to go through the expedition, and the only trade Anders accepts is helping Carl. What do we think about the other 3, though, boys? I think they are more arguable.
Well, Merrill's quest also makes sense, ignoring how amazing Merrill is as a companion. It wouldn't really make sense for Hawk to betray Flemeth after she helped him, especially since Flemeth has already proven to be insanely powerful. Double-crossing her doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well, I can attest that the 2 robe quests shouldn't really be main quests on their own, but this quest makes a little more sense since the only way Act 2 works is if we have met the Arashok already, since he knows we are the only competent person in Kirkwall. That's, however, a metagaming reason. There's no actual plot reason to take out these Qunari bandits.
Just like the Qunari reason, the 3 Mage main quests are here to introduce the key players in the Templar versus Mage debate and to show how feared Meredith and the Kirkwall Circle are. Though granted, we could have learned that message with just one of those quests, maybe 2, if we needed that extra reinforcement. Like make the dwarf Jarvais blackmail us to take out the Qunari, or have a few Templars possessed by Taron attack us on the street until we stop her plot.
Those are solid points, but Joe, are you good? Merrill is already down and you are spread a bit too thin here.
Yeah, I'll be fine, Barry. I'm going to have Varric take out the Mage while me and Carver take out the leader, and the ads on their own to draw the heat away from him. Oh my god, this dude has more potions than an Elite 4 champion. Why the hell did they get rid of the Curse of Mortality after teaching every elite unit to heal themselves?
Also, Joe Varric just got 1 tapped.
Massive skill issue. You killed your waifu and the dwarven waifu in under a minute, and that Mage still has more Sith lightning left to pull out of his ass. This is already over. It's complete karma that the Mage main of all people is getting taken out by another Mage.
Oh god damn it, what low cooldown bullshit is this?
Yeah, you're cooked first death in Dragon Age 2 on the board.
Oh my god, this is rich. It's your favorite game in the series and you still have the first death. Better watch out for Mages, Sleepy. You don't want to have a skill issue, right? Do you want some advice from the Templar main on how to handle this fight?
Shut the fuck up, Donald. I'm locked in now. And I'm not going to let myself die more than 1 time this episode.
To be fair, Joe, we have given Donald a lot of shit for the Mage hideout almost a year ago. I think you dying to a Qunari Mage is fair game at this point.
Wow, so that's how it is, Barry. No worries though, because I have the perfect way to manipulate the AI here. All I have to do is make sure my entire party stays in the back for the first wave, and then when the second wave comes out, but before the Mage spawns, I need to get everyone to the back to drop aggro from some of the horned guys. That way when the Mage spawns, we can dump everything on him immediately. That's why I'm going to save haste this time too. What's up, asshole? Taste this stun lock. I hope it hurts almost as much as shaving your horns and sewing your mouth shut. When I say all mages deserve rights, I don't mean you.
Damn, you get killed by 1 Mage and suddenly Joe's heart bleeds a little less for the Mages. Maybe I should stick some of the Mage supporters in the comments to play this mission on Nightmare so they get a better opinion.
Most people don't base their entire personality off of one annoying fight, Donald, but then again, I suppose you did, so what do I know? Also, I would suggest it would be more beneficial to have switched Carver with Avalanche and Varric with Anders. Avaline's tank stats could have drawn more adds onto her, and Anders' Winter's Grasp and Haste buff could have cleared these dudes a lot faster. But still, you killed the Mage this time, so good work, Joe.
Bro got the Horror, Haste, and Hex Torment Wumbo combo. He didn't even have a chance. And that, viewers, is how you manipulate the positioning and take care of threats.
Good party management and spell use, Joe. You really did lock in. Let's go clear our inventory and turn in the main quests. Now we still have one more quest to tackle after this too.
Oh, good, more chances for you to die. Also, does this chick seriously just give us a ring for all our efforts? We killed like 3 dozen dudes to free her son.
I mean, she's a single mom that lives in the Alienage. I don't think we were going to get a treasure chest of gold. That being said, the ring is decent and the keeper can pay us 1 gold for bringing Fenriel to the clan, so we do get a little something.
Isabella, baby, don't go. I'm not done looking at you yet. If the horned dudes give you trouble, I promise I will just smite them for you.
You know Isabella is bullshitting here because she's normally a much better liar than this. Girl is genuinely scared of the Qunari, and this is more than just because she stole their artifact.
So did they actually see her when she stole the artifact, or is she just worried they might recognize her because they have really good spies?
Well, thankfully there's no spies among these Qunari. This is simply a military unit, but Isabella was attacked by the Qunari dreadnought, and they got close when they did attack her to try to retrieve the artifact, so they got very close. Close enough that they both got shipwrecked by the fight and because of the storm.
I have to give Isabella some credit. She held her own against the strongest military in the setting.
Bro is really built like he's him, but just like me, he got clapped up by the pirate waifu. Maybe stand a little less tall there, buddy.
Height complex issues, Donald?
Nah, not at all. Just because this dude has a few inches on me doesn't make him all that.
You'll Fenris care to translate what you just yapped there.
The official translation was peace or rishok. There's nothing to struggle against. Victory is in the Qunari.
So you know Ox speak as well as lore now, Barak?
It's called Quinlet, and it's a secondary effect of my Stan Rambling Man. That being said, it only comes up a few times in this game. The Qunari are very respectful about sticking to common. Good squad mate choices for this scene, Joe. Isabella and Fenris are the perfect combination for the scene enrichment.
You mean when he wants to say anything at all, bro, normally keeps his mouth shut or speaks in one word, answers like the big ball of anxiety from Origins. No wonder they gave him his old job, bro, is just him, but with a horn disability.
Seeing the Qunari like this and in the Inquisition makes me miss the chunkier models. I mean, Veilguard's models still look better than Sten, but they were far less beefy than what most people really wanted.
Even the Arashok's mannerisms and presence as a villain make me feel like Dragon Age really fumbled the bag on the threat they were creating with the Qunari. The Qunari really went from a major threat that you could understand and still fear to being just a large military with spies and Inquisition, and then finally to just being bandits who join the Elven Gods for no goddamn reason. Part of that is because of Mary Kirby leaving from Bioware post-Inquisition, but I believe the Qunari's last hurrah was really in Mark of the Assassin.
Yeah, looking back at some of our hopes for a Qunari Tevinter war back in the Origins run, really feels like a kick in the teeth now. The only 2 compliments I can give these guys are they have good respect for the warrior mains out there, and that they know when to start flexing on the lesser races, especially when the bag is threatened.
Bro got really pressed the second his pockets were threatened.
A real base dwarf would have tanked the spear throws instead of emptying his pockets. No wonder this dude is a surface dwarf.
Good choice on the dialogue, Joe. If you tell Jarvais to leave, you don't get anything, and if you choose the bottom option, you only get 3 gold instead of 4.
Sleepy actually getting his bag up? I guess snow must be falling in hell also. I guess we are back on the elf train helping a dude in tights arrest some elf serial killer.
Bro is really a buzzkill. Even the half-undead Congress members would have given a dry chuckle at Purple Hawk. I like how everything about this quest from the start is a red flag. He doesn't tell us what the dude's crime was. He doesn't want the guards to handle it except for a select few, and he would rather pay for outsiders' help rather than just let the beasts in the ruins handle him.
Yeah, this quest is really sus the second time you play it, but considering right now we are looking for all kinds of extra work, we don't think much about it. We are willing to just put the fries in the bag. Also, Joe, I should warn you that the monsters in the ruins he is talking about are...
What he means is after the Qunari battle, the monsters in the ruin are already dead, right, Barak?
All right, Donald, I see what you are doing. Kind of fucked up, but I guess that's on brand for you.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Also, why does this dude's face look like that? He looks like Donald if he was a discount mall cop.
Screw you, Sleepy. You're overusing that mall cop joke for some reason. And not only is it not funny, but it's dying faster than you. Also, you're talking about the guard looking weird, but this elf isn't much better. Why is his nose shaped like that?
You can't just ask why someone's nose is pointy, Donald. Also, I'm pretty sure we are just in the Kirkwall equivalent of the Deep South, and that's why everyone looks like that and has a pretty thick accent. Also, I'm surprised Aveline doesn't have more to say about the guards being too cowardly to even attempt to go into the ruins.
Does Aveline have any special dialogue if she's captain already? Like, wouldn't that make her their boss?
No, for some reason, while she does have extra dialogue, there's no enrichment if she is already the captain. I imagine these guys might be from a different barrack from Aveline's detachment, since we never see any of them again.
These guys are probably some kind of country guard, and that's why they are cowards. If the magistrate sent one Templar in, he would have already killed this serial killer wannabe and been home in time for dinner. But since you're on the case, Joe, I imagine you're going to spare him and give him a warm blanket and milk.
I'm going to see what's going on first. I can't really say with certainty Hawk would switch gears immediately. He'd want more information first. I mean, Bro wasn't even sure why the killer would only target elf children.
It's not at the point where disapproval happens, and I like the roleplay reason, Joe, we need to get back into that we started slowing down since we finished our Origin series.
Oh, for fuck's sake, why does God send these asshole arachnids around every corner?
This is karma for something dealer's choice on what it is. What's your bet, Barack? 2 more deaths in the spider cavern.
I'll guess only one. I think he's going to get clapped up once ahead and lock in after. You underestimate Joe's emotional amps when he goes off. Joe, do you want to get in on this action?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you now, I am going to die 0 times in this dungeon. I can still kill the spiders without looking at them. I don't need to watch them to take them out. Also, look, Raiders, now this is something that I can take out while the rest of my crew takes out my fears for me. And they are weak to lightning damage. This is easy goddamn money.
What the hell were these guys even doing here? They aren't the criminal we were looking for, and they are trapped in this one room with guards on the outside. This is a terrible play.
I imagine they were doing a scavenger run and then got trapped in this room after they found the undead and spiders. And now, even though their asses are trapped, they probably found a score they are trying to protect by attacking us.
Well, either way, we have double chain lightning and they have jack shit. I think I might have found my team, and ironically, it has a waifu DPS rogue, a waifu DPS mage, and a sword and board warrior as mainstays. I think I have heard this song before.
I swear to God, if Solace, Sarah, and Blackwall are our core Inquisition squad, I might have to start thinking we are just the most basic dragon boys to play this game. Also, Joe, I smell a death in your future here. This room is about to skill check you. You son of a bitch, my pirate queen already died. That's it, I'm deporting your ass.
Bro, where did her health go? I didn't even get a chance to heal her. I know she likes going down, but this is just a meme at this point.
My only saving grace of karma left is that Merrill is going to go down shortly after Isabella does, because your ass is taking away half our damage by not attacking.
Amara's in trouble? Haka haka? Haka haka?
Joe, are you constipated, locking in, or having an orgasm? Which is it here?
Donald, I don't know what's happening right now, but I think you may have just triggered Joe here. He just switched off Hawk and is kiting with Merrill, and my God, he might actually have our Hawk attack a spider now. This is actual Dragon Age character growth.
No one brings my girl down but me. I will fight for all of us, my love. I'm going to spam as much debuffs as I can, and if shit gets dicey, I have a backup consumable to use.
Well, despite your yapping and running around, Merrill is about to go down, so what's the play here, Sleepy, or are you back to crashing out again?
All right, now that it's down to 2, I need to wait for my Mabari summon to come back up, so I'm going to pop this rock salve we bought at the start of episode 2 from the Black Emporium and keep debuffing the spiders while Aveline face tanks them.
Wait, we had this for 2 whole episodes. Joe, you could have used it during the Qunari fight where you almost died. Why the hell didn't you?
Yeah, truthfully, I forgot I had it, but as soon as Merrill was in danger, I noticed it. That's called locked in.
Joe, that's not being locked in. I think that's just you spacing out, although I will say your debuff strategy never fails as long as you can manage your party while doing it, so let's see it. Some fun facts about this fight while you face your fears is that it drops the first herbalist item, which is a list of 3 items in the first 2 acts that we can collect for gold, and a unique item in Act 3 when we collect the High Dragon Land. The other 2 items are the Dragon Fang in the Bone Pit and some iron bark that we can get in Sundermont. I'll collect the other 2 while side questing next episode, and the extra gold will be good once we start building for the Deep Roads expedition. Anyways, Joe, good work. Killing the spider mini-boss. Looks like the spider meme is well and truly dead.
What is dead, sorry, I blacked out in a blood rage over my waifu falling in battle. I stopped paying attention to what was happening on screen.
Jesus Christ, well maybe this arcane horror will clap you up. It's about time for another mage to give you problems.
Normally these arcane horrors are bigger threats, but between the horror spam and the chain lightning, these guys are barely able to get off a single spell. I wonder what happened to that special ability they gave arcane horrors in the Elven Ruin that would have been an interesting mechanic to give the higher level horrors in this game, and the Tempest ability does exist already.
Please don't give the horrors any more crowd control abilities between the Spirit Bomb and the Darkness Fart Cloud. It doesn't need any more abilities. I'm just glad this is the last one we fight in Act 1, and we won't see any more until Act 2.
Joe, what kind of sniff index do you have that allows you to remember exactly how many of what enemy spawns?
I mean, it's simply counting to 3 Donald that's not really that expansive of knowledge. Plus, they are more memorable bosses to Joe's credit.
No, I don't need the defense, Barry. I'm just built different Donald anyway, with the only real threat taken care of. Let's go check on the survivor, shall we?
I give that chain lightning 5 booms.
Don't get any weird ideas now, Sleepy.
Donald, for the love of God, I would never do anything to this poor girl other than give her a blanket and hot cocoa.
It's interesting that Merrill calls her Dale, and that's Elven for little one, and is the same thing that the Keeper calls Merrill herself. Moving on from the Elvish word of the day, this girl is the definition of a Stockholm Syndrome survivor. It's crazy to think about how many things kids can forgive because they don't understand pure evil or ulterior motives.
Not to mention she's starving, injured, and probably doesn't have a good grasp that adults can lie. Still want to spare him and let the justice system sort him out, Sleepy?
Not anymore. Seeing Leah makes me want to make this dude bite the curb in a very primal sense. I don't care what nonsense mental issue he has, the fact he's targeting elf children and seeing them in a state like Leia. This dude deserves to be buried with the spiders.
This question brings up an easy-to-overlook facet of fantasy settings. In a world without medication or mental health, what the hell are you supposed to do with the mentally ill, especially when they are dangerous? Do you lock them up like normal criminals or put them down? Because unlike criminals, there's no cure or reasoning with them.
You're forgetting about option C. You give them tranquility and make them healthy, productive members of society.
According to Carl, tranquility is worse than death. I'd rather just put them down or throw them in jail if they become violent. I would probably feel more sorry for this guy if he wasn't doing this shit to children, but since we are all dads, there's only one true solution here.
Facts.
The entrance. You'll find your father there.
I knew my father would eventually send someone.
Of course, none of that empathy really matters because this situation gets worse. The reason everything felt off and why the magistrate was so hell-bent on getting this guy back isn't because of some sense of justice, but because Bro is the magistrate's son. Not only is he likely given a nice cushy cell with nice accommodations, but Bro probably was given minimal security detail, and it's why he was able to escape in the first place. It's why there's only a few guards to capture him. They are probably on his payroll. I bet he is even eligible for parole at some point. The choice in this situation is so clear-cut that every companion approves if you kill him and disapproves if you just arrest him.
I wonder if this would be a difficult moral decision if this dude wasn't the magistrate's son. I imagine at least some of the good-natured companions like Aveline and Varric would disapprove of killing him. As is all we have to think about is how poor the mental health system is in Dragon Age and what the best way to kill this guy is.
My brother in Christ, you live in Kirkwall with Cullen and Knight Commander Meredith at the helm. If you so much as did street magic, they would have locked your ass up and flogged you daily. You're a freak, but you are not a robe.
Now I'm just imagining Meredith crashing a kid's birthday party and arresting the birthday magician when he cuts his assistant in half. Anyway, are we sure this dude is mentally ill and not just using the demon excuse so he doesn't have to own up to what he's done like Isabella is implying?
Bro is begging for death. There are easier ways to get us to kill him than trying to blame something else, plus he doesn't seem like he's lying here. He looks genuinely believes demons are telling him to do it. Also, a fun fact, if you bring Fenris here, he offers to kill him for us and we get a special death animation, but weirdly enough, the approval gains for everyone or less if we let Fenris do it then, if we do it ourselves.
Our companions want to see us renegades work besides who doesn't like a good murder knife?
All right, well, to play the opposite of devil's advocate, isn't it possible Bro is just dealing with his own demons internally and wants to blame demons for his own perversions? I mean, a demon made me do it is one of the oldest legal defenses out there.
Well, that's true. Demons have a long history in the early years of our court system with the witch trials and other early European court systems. But they even have a place in our modern court system as well. There's a case in Connecticut from the 1980s, the trial of Arn Johnson, where a man stabbed his landlord and claimed the devil made him do it. It is the first court case in modern U.S. history to claim defense on the claim of demonic possession. And it actually worked since he only got 5 years. There's a Netflix documentary on it. If you like that sort of thing, viewers. That being said, I doubt there is any real-life inspiration for this in-game situation. And unlike Johnson, we aren't buying that defense either.
Yeah, this isn't Connecticut, buddy. We are in Kirkwall. Only defense you're getting is murder knife.
And nothing of value is lost.
And look, a happy ending for all. See what happens when you do a renegade option for once, Sleepy?
I really don't think killing him was a renegade decision. Every single person approved of it, and the alternative meant bringing him back to his father with no justice done.
I'm still counting it as a blemish on your Paragon record.
I'm with Joe on this one, but either way, the only long-term consequence for killing or sparing him is Leah and her father's fate. If we spared Kelder, the father says he is taking Leah out of the city and likely out of the free marches. However, since he is dead, he is going to stay, and we can see her again in Act 3.
Well, let's go get chewed out by a corrupt politician. It's a pretty normal Tuesday for all three of us.
Yeah, you can do all the blocks on me. You want I have no regrets being renegade?
Oh no, I'm so scared. I hope he doesn't call me a mean name.
Yeah, the magistrate can lick my ancient nuts.
Sometimes. How precious. Little Aveline running around the village with her flaming orange pigtails streaming behind her. And little boys all scattering and screaming for mercy as she approached.
Well, looks like the rivalry between Aveline and Isabella is already developing nicely.
So despite the guard and the magistrate warning us that we have made an enemy today, there is no future consequence for killing his son. He is never seen or heard from again, so the only real consequence is the amount of gold we get. Companion approval and Lias' fate in Act 3. With that all being said, I think it's about time we turn in the White Flint Mercenaries quest to Sebastian and begin to wrap up. I will start off the rotation next time with a lot of side quests before we begin our final preparations for the Deep Roads expedition. However, next episode will be Joe back in Dead Space.
Viewers, whatever happens, just remember that it wasn't me who got clapped up first in Dragon Age 2. It was the Mage main, Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, all right, fuck off, Donald. Want a cookie? Anyways, viewers, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave your comment question on your favorite spell in the Dragon Age series, as well as a like to thumb my ass and a subscription to keep up to date when a new video is posted. We have a few special episodes planned in the near future, so be on the lookout. If you want updates on videos, join Fox Discord in the description. And if you like President's content across the multiverse, make sure to join AI Force One, where our editor is a verified creator, along with Uvox and Broadway CJ97, and the server has reached over 1,000 members. We thank each of you for the growth of this channel, and we'll see you all next episode with Barry, but for now, stay safe, bide now.